Forward. Our most precious gift is our brain. It is what allows us to learn, love, think, create, and even to experience joy. It is the gateway to our emotions, to our capacity for deeply experiencing life, to our ability to have lasting intimacy. It allows us to innovate, grow, and accomplish. Yet few of us realize that, by applying a handful of practical methods, we can enhance our brain and supercharge our ability to learn. Most of us know that we can improve our cardiovascular health through exercise and diet, but most of us do not realize that we can also greatly improve our brains, and in doing so, our life. Unfortunately, our world doesn't foster a healthy environment for our brain. Before Jim Kwik provides a roadmap to become limitless, he indicts the 4 growing villains that are challenging our capacity to think, focus, learn, grow, and be fully human. The first is digital deluge, the unending flood of information in a world of finite time and unfair expectations that leads to overwhelm, anxiety, and sleeplessness. Drowning in data and rapid change, we long for strategies and tools to regain some semblance of productivity, performance, and peace of mind. The second villain is digital distraction. The fleeting ping of digital dopamine pleasure replaces our ability to sustain the attention necessary for deep relationship, deep learning, or deep work. I recently sat next to a friend at a lecture and noticed her picking up her phone multiple times within a few minutes. I asked for her phone and pulled up the screen time app. She had picked up her phone more than 1,000 times and had 1,000 notifications in one day. Texts, social media notifications, emails, and news alerts, while important in context, can derail our concentration and train us to be distracted from what matters most in the moment. The next villain is digital dementia. Memory is a muscle that we have allowed to atrophy. While there are benefits to having a supercomputer in your pocket, think of it like an electric bicycle. It's fun and easy but doesn't get you in shape. Research on dementia proves that the greater our capacity to learn, the more mental, brain exercise we perform, the lower our risk of dementia. In many cases, we have outsourced our memory to our detriment. The last brain-damaging villain is digital deduction. In a world where information is abundantly accessible, we've perhaps gone too far in how we use that information, even getting to the point where we are letting technology do much of our critical thinking and reasoning for us. Online, there are so many conclusions being drawn by others that we have begun to surrender our own ability to draw conclusions. We would never let another person do our thinking for us, but we've gotten far too comfortable with letting devices have that very power. The cumulative effects of these 4 digital villains robs us of our focus, attention, learning, and most importantly, our ability to truly think. It robs us of our mental clarity and results in brain fatigue, distraction, inability to easily learn, and unhappiness. While the technological advances of our time have the potential to both help and harm, the way we use them in our society can lead to an epidemic of overload, memory loss, distraction, and dependency. And it's only going to get worse. The message of this book couldn't be more timely. You were born with the ultimate technology, and there is nothing more important than the health and fitness of our brain. It controls everything in life. Learning how to filter all the data, to develop new methods and skills for thriving in a distracted world drowning in a flood of information, is what is needed to thrive in the 21st century. Learning and the ability to learn faster and more easily makes everything else in life possible, which means that it's never been a better time to train your brain the way you do your body. Just like you want a healthy body, you want a flexible, strong, energized, and fit brain. That's what Jim does for a living. He is the personal trainer for the mind. The 4 supervillains are just an example of the limits you'll learn how to overcome in this book. The key to living an exceptional life, as Jim states, is a process of unlimiting ourselves. And he has cracked the code for personal transformation with his limitless model. If you are struggling to reach a goal in any area, you must first ask, where is the limit? Most likely, you're experiencing a limit in your mindset, motivation, or methods, which means that it's not a personal shortcoming or failure pointing to any perceived lack of ability. And contrary to what we tend to believe, our barriers are not set. We're in full control and can overcome them at any time. If our mindset is not aligned with our desires or goals, we will never achieve them. It's critical to identify your limiting beliefs, stories, and deeply held beliefs, attitudes, and assumptions about yourself and what's possible. Examining, excavating, and expunging those beliefs is the first step to having a limitless mindset. I was told I could do anything by my mother, that I was smart, capable, and could be the best at anything I tried. That deeply held belief allowed me to succeed beyond my wildest dreams. But I also had the belief that relationships were hard and filled with pain and drama from witnessing my parents' divorce and marriages. It took me nearly 50 years to erase that belief and find real happiness in my marriage. The second secret to a limitless life is your motivation. Jim outlines 3 key elements to motivation. First, your purpose. The reason why matters. I want to age well and am committed to lifting weights and getting stronger even though it is not my favorite thing to do. The purpose supersedes the discomfort. The second key is the ability to do what you want. This requires energy, and energy requires something called energy management. The science of human performance is critical to achieving your purpose. Eating whole unprocessed food, exercise, stress management, quality sleep, and skills at communication and building healthy relationships, and eliminating toxic ones. And lastly, the tasks must be bite-sized, small steps that lead to success. Floss 1 tooth, read 1 page of a book, do 1 push-up, meditate for 1 minute, all of which will lead to confidence, and ultimately bigger successes. The last key to being limitless is using the right method. We have been taught 19th and 20th century tools for functioning in the 21st century. Limitless teaches us the 5 key methods to achieve whatever we want: focus, study, memory enhancement, speed reading, and critical thinking. Using these upgraded learning technologies allows us to harness our mindset and motivation to more easily and effectively reach our dreams. Mark Hyman, MD. Jim is no stranger to limits. After a head injury as a child impaired his focus, concentration, and ability to learn, an insensitive teacher pointed to him and said, "There's the boy with a broken brain." Jim has spent his life learning how to overcome and heal from this injury and turn his challenges into a superpower of learning. We all suffer to some degree or another from broken brains. Limitless is the prescription for healing our brains, reframing limiting beliefs, and upgrading our life. Learning how to learn is the ultimate superpower, the one that makes every other skill and ability possible, and teaching this to you is this book's goal. In Limitless, Jim Kwik provides a roadmap for doing exactly this. Most of us are not raised with the tools we need, but Jim is generously sharing everything he's learned in this book. Jim has spent 3 decades working in the trenches with people from all walks of life: students, teachers, celebrities, construction workers, politicians, entrepreneurs, scientists. He has worked with some of the most advanced educational systems around the world, training educators, superintendents, and students in his methods. His teachings truly work and can benefit us all. There is no pill for genius, but there is a process to get there, and you'll find it within these pages. Limitless is a blueprint for upgrading your brain, for not only learning how to learn faster, better, and more effectively, but also for healing your physical brain through nutrition, supplements, exercise, meditation, sleep, and more to increase the creation of new brain cells and the connections between them. Jim delivers 3 books in one. If your current mindset, motivation, and methods are limiting your ability to achieve your dreams, then Limitless is the owner's manual to a better, brighter, brilliant brain and future. Your learning and life will never be the same. Mark Hyman, MD. Head of Strategy and Innovation. Cleveland Clinic Center for Functional Medicine. Author of 12 New York Times best-selling books. December 2019.